So now that we know who we're selling to, we want to create some message instructions because Picture enables you to not have to write all the emails by yourself. So you can match these instructions that we're going to build up here, the message instructions, to the audience that we just built. So for time's sake, what I'll do, I'll load in a few instructions like this, and I'll walk you through each and every one of them and how you should think about them. So you have first and foremost, this is your navigation bar here. This would look very much the same all across the software. So whenever you're in one of these features, you'll have a navigation similar to this. You can see that in the audience tool as well. So Picture already knows my first name and my last name. You'll find that over in the profile tab. And all I need to do now is just enter some information about myself. So my job title, what's the company called that I'm working for. So the value proposition in this case is more so targeted what is it that you want to convey in your message to your target audience, not necessarily what your company does in general context, unless that is what you want to portray in or convey in your email sequence, for example. But here, I just told them a little bit of value proposition of one thing that I think might resonate with my audience. You can edit this as you go as well. I chose English as language. You can choose on the drop down which language you want. And we go to message, and I'll just go ahead and put in my co-founder Greg here, so I have something to generate my messages against. So what Picture did now, it collected the information about Greg, and it noticed that he is indeed working at Sales Automation, and that gives me a few options now. So I can unlock his phone number directly here if it's available, and that will cost me 5 credits, but I'm not going to go ahead and do that because that's a separate feature. Now, we're talking about email messaging templates. So I like to have my own email signature. In this case, you can either have an HTML code, just copy paste it in here, and that will be reflected automatically in your email sequences. And Picture will not use your Gmail or your Outlook signature by default. So if you want a signature, I suggest you enter it here. You can just use free text as well if you want to, but I like to use my email signature from here. I select the outreach stage. Now this is a first message that we're creating and not a follow-up message. So let's go with the initial message, and then we go to the last step before we start creating and generating messages, is the preferences tab. So I have an intention. I, in this case, just want to identify if they're a good fit for our solution. But this could be anything, like you want to book a call with them, or you want to start a dialogue with the prospect that you're reaching out to. Then the message preferences, it's really answering how do you want this message to be written. So in this case, I use, for example, anything referencing the recipient's name or company in the email should be done so as in a normal conversation. This will ensure that if the recipient has their titles or something funny like an icon in their name, that will be removed by the AI and it will look at it as the real name. The same goes for company names as well. Another one that I like to rely on is this: the email should not use typical email lingo such as "I hope this email finds you well" or similar. Now, one thing I've noticed is that if you write this in English, but you have, say, Dutch language in your instructions, it will not follow these types of instructions very well. More generic instructions, it will follow a lot better. If you say, I want it short and I want a informal tone, it will traditionally use those type of instructions across any language. But if you tell it exactly this, it will look at exactly this in English, not translate it, and hence not do the changes in Dutch. So be mindful when you create these instructions. And you will have to generate a few messages. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. So we can see that I now created a message towards Greg. So I haven't got any instructions about the subject line, so I'm not super satisfied with this. So that's maybe something I'd go back and change in the instructions before I save it. Other than that, I'm kind of satisfied with this email. Maybe not the best, maybe not the worst, who knows. But whenever I'm done making my changes here, we go to the top right next to the instructions tab, so in this separate box, and we press save instructions, and then we save it. Same thing goes here, test 1, 2, 3. We press enter, and then we press save. And then my message instructions are done.